Next is part to whole visuals. Okay, these visuals are also known as composition visuals. Okay, why composition? Okay, so because if you talk about these visuals now, it goes like, okay, what all are the products and what all are the product categories or percentage of share which is making up the total. If my total is 20 lakhs, 18 is tablet, 12 is phones, and 10 is for laptop. Okay, the how is the percentage share of three of them. So if I want to analyze that, then these visuals comes in the picture. Pie chart and donut chart goes same way. Okay, they are just like column chart. Pie chart can like that. What I suggest is if there are only 5 categories or less, then go for the pie chart. If there are more than that, then go for stacked bar chart. So pie chart is the like helps us to analyze how hard 20 lakhs is divided into these three products. Donut chart goes the same. It's the same, just it's a modern way to show that with a hollow inside. So if we sum up, part two whole visuals are like what makes up the total. Oh, the stack bar chart is left. Stack bar chart are like to compare the composition across groups. Okay, I talk now. 18 is for tablet, 12 is for laptop, and 10 is for phone. So in that 12, how much is for each region if you're talking about, then this color is representing that. Just imagine there are 4 products in the company. So, okay, blue is for north region, yellow is for south, red is for green region, and black is for east region. If you're talking that way, then this stacked bar chart is the perfect choice. And we should avoid these visuals when the categories are more than 5, because then the charts and the like analysis will not look that good. And yes, we can use them when we are showing any percentage share also. Like if we are showing, okay, this much percentage is held by this person, this much percentage is held by this person, then these visuals can also be used. Next are distribution visuals. Okay, distribution visuals are the visuals which helps us to understand how our data is spread all across. Like, are there any outliers? Is there any skewness in the data? Are there any clusters form, or like is there any variability in the data which cannot be revealed like just by looking at it? Then distribution visuals comes in the picture. We can use 2 charts for that. First is histogram. It looks just like bar chart, but the like all the bars are connected to each other. But actually, it does more than a bar chart. It helps us to show the frequency distribution along the data. Like if the employee salary is 20K, 22K, 25K, 27K, but one of them is a manager and its salary is 2 lakh, then that will be the outlier in the data, which can be easily analyzed with the help of a histogram or a box plot. In box plot, if we see this line now, the upper one shows the maximum, the lower one shows the minimum range. And this box is for the Q1, Q2, and Q3, which shows the quartile 1, quartile 2, and quartile 3 of the data. But the data which is lying outside these are the outliers of the data. Just as we talked about, okay, the manager is getting 2 lakh salary. So that's the outlier, which will like hamper our analysis, because if you do the average of it, then that will not be done completely. Okay. So averages cannot be shown clearly with the help of histogram and box plot. So if we are talking about something for average, then we should skip both of them. But if we want to talk about how our data is spread, or if we want to talk about how our data is skewed, then these both are the best visuals. Basically, these visuals are not used for analyzing the data, but before that to understand which data we should talk about or which sample data we should go with. I'm sorry, I didn't knew my mic was mute. I'll start again with this slide. Okay. Okay. Relationship and correlation visuals. Can anyone confirm when my mic was mute? Hello?
Hello.
Can anyone confirm when what mic was mute? Like, were you able to listen to the slides, the explanation or not? Okay, let me redo it again. So these visuals are the one which helps us to understand how two variables are related to each other. Like one of them is independent and one of them is dependent. Okay, this goes like to identify a pattern, a trend, or a correlation. If I'm going with that again, I'm so sorry because I don't know if my mic was mute or not. So there are two of them, scatter chart and bubble chart. Okay, example, analyze. Company spends something on a marketing ad. Okay, with A person and with B person. They want to see how much they're spending on the marketing is increasing or not with the sales. So to analyze that, the relationship and correlation visuals comes in mind. If we do a scatter chart now, it will help us to show the relationship between two variables. See, there are two dots. Okay, so one of them is marketing spend, and the other one of them is the sales, which are increasing with the marketing spend. And if we talk about the bubble chart, there is a third variable we can add. Okay, what if I did the marketing with two people, A and B person? Okay, example one was some other person, the B person was some other, or we can do it on two different platforms. So which platform helps us to understand or retain more customers or attract more customers? If you're talking about that type of relationship, then these both comes in the mind. So the question which we ask from these visuals, or when we should use these visuals, are how do variables relate to each other? Okay, is there a relationship between them? Like the demand is increasing, so the supply is also increasing or not? Okay, the season is coming. Okay, the winters are increasing. There is a change in the season, so the winter clothes are also increasing in the market. The demand of it is also increasing, and so the supply of the winter clothes are also increasing. So this was the question is. We should use this, as I've said it multiple times. If you are identifying any pattern, any trend, any correlation, or like to support the deep analysis, we should use them. And we should like avoid them when we are talking about only single variable. Okay, there is no such thing in the company as marketing spend. There is no such thing in the company as any customer related services or PR. Then these visuals will not come in mind. Next is process and flow visuals. Okay, I didn't set the difference between them. Okay, so if you talk about the difference between scatter chart and bubble chart now, they both look the same and they both do the work also same. One shows the difference between two variables, and the bubble chart shows the difference between two variables, that but there is a third variable which helps us to understand the difference with the help of the size. Okay, you must see the size of the circles are increasing. Here the circle size are same. So we can see this is an upward graph. So as the demand is increasing, the price is also increasing. We can see say that. But if we talk about here, how much it is increasing, we can clearly see. Okay, first it was, for example, it was 1, then it's increased to 2, then 3, then 4. So bubble charts is like deeper and gives us deeper insights, and scatter chart gives us a up curve insight. Okay, if it's upward curve or a downward curve. Upward curve shows the direct relationship. Okay, one is increasing, the other is also increasing, and the indirect relationship is just like, okay, one is increasing, so the other one is decreasing. Next are process and flow visuals. Okay, this visuals helps us to understand the movements which are happening step by step, like where the changes are happening. For example, if we talk about any stock, okay, if we purchase any stock, so it goes from leads to qualified, then to proposal, and then to sale. Okay, there are 4 to 5 stages between them. So how many were in lead? Okay, and out of them which were selected, and at the end which were left. And like the process goes from top 50 to top 1. If you're talking like this, then process and flow visuals comes in the picture. They help us to understand what were the drop-offs. Are there any gains in the process? Are there any losses? And what were the factors which were affecting the drop-off, the gains and the loss? Okay. So if any question goes like, where does the drop-off is coming from? Where the changes is happening? Which step the changes were the most? So we use this type of visuals, which is the funnel chart. Okay. So basically, funnel chart helps us to understand the sales pipeline. If we talk about the like particular use of a funnel chart, it helps us to show like stage wise what was the drop off. 1-tier company, 2-tier company, 3-tier company, what were the drop offs in this step wise scale. And if we talk about the waterfall chart now, it helps us to understand the incremental changes which is happening in the breakdown. For example, here the green one is the total sales, for example, the yellow one is the profits, and the red one is the loss. If the company is doing any loss, the chart will go down, and the company is doing any profit, the chart will go up, and the longer chart will be the total of that. So it shows the pipeline of the incremental changing which is happening in the company. Next is when we should avoid these. This should be avoided. These starts should be avoided when the data is not sequential. Okay, when the data is not correlated, when there is no relationship between the data, then these both the visuals should be avoided. Next is performance and KPI visuals, and yes, Raji, we will talk about the God chart also. Okay, so performance and KPI visuals are the visuals which help us to analyze the dashboard within some minutes. Okay, why is this happening? How can we use this data? How the data is like at the end of the what it was the previous year and what it is today. If we are analyzing something like that, then this will come in picture, because it helps us to whether the goals are met or not, where the attention is required, are we meeting our targets, and any executive dashboard or any scoreboard will have this. Okay, imagine you're watching a cricket match. Okay, and if you're also having the exam on the same day, so you won't have the time. Okay, our mom will not allow us to watch the whole match, but yes, we will watch the scoreboard. Okay, this much runs are done, this much balls are left, this much all is like the batsmen need to cover up. So this is what the KPI cards or the God chart is. If we talk about the God chart is like the manager has set a target for 20 lakhs and he's like analyze. Just a minute. If there is a God chart, okay, and he's analyzing how the charts are going. How the charts are going, or like what, okay, the target was 20 lakhs and what's in the progress. Okay, in the Jan month we did this much, in Feb we did this much, till April we were able to do this much, till September we were this, and till December are the targets met or not. So to analyze that, the God chart is in use. If we talk about the KPI goes like the key performance indicators, which helps us to understand what are the key metrics of the data, like what is the total sales, what is the top product, which product needs attention, which was the best selling city, where was the most product sell. So if you're talking something like that, then KPI cards comes in attention. So the use case of these visuals are like if you're talking about any executive dashboards or like any scoreboards, or if you want to make any visuals which can be analyzed within quickly or like in a minute, then these visuals helps us. And we should avoid them when we are talking about something trend or comparison. To explain this, by trends and comparison, I mean is, okay, if I want to see the January sales, Feb sales, March sales, April sales, May sales, all the month sales, then these KPI will not be used. I'll not be making 12 different KPIs. Then I'll be making a bar chart if I want to focus on the values, or a line chart if I want to see the trend, how the sales are different or how the sales are going. So that's why KPI will not be used. So this KPI should be only used where we want to showcase the main targets, or like where we want to give attention to what's mostly required. Next is interactive and AI custom visuals. As I said, I'll cover this topic in the next live because like of my health. But yes, I'll talk a little bit about it. There are 4 types of interactive and AI custom visuals. First is slicers, which we all use, okay, which is useful for interactive filtering across the data. If there are 4 of them regions, or there are 3 or more products, then we can use them to analyze the whole dashboard in a glance. Okay, the decomposition tree, where we can analyze the root cause, like, okay, this is the total, and out of which these are 4 regions, which region has this much products, and it can be analyzed with the help of high value and low value. Next is key influencers. It helps us to understand what is impacting our analysis, like what is making difference in the analysis, or if you want to support any exploration, or if you want to go in like depth of a storytelling, then these visuals are in use. Okay, then next is drill down and zoom charts. Okay, drill down and zoom charts, we all are like very curious about them, but these charts are very helpful if you want to do something, for example, like interactive filtering, or we want to give the, what we say, manager a whole story. Okay, this was the product total, sales total, this was the product different percentage, and if we drill down more, then this was the region percentage, and this was the sector percentage, and if we further divide it into company and person to person, then drill down visuals are in use. So we should avoid when there is like no such reporting is needed, when we just have to get the top product or the least product or the product which is performing better, or we just have to focus on the trends, then this visual should be avoided. But if our managers are wanting us to make something for more storytelling or want us to explore, then these visuals should be used. So before the recap, are there any visuals or charts I have skipped you want me to talk about? We can talk about, then after that I'll go with the recap also. I'll be waiting for a minute. If anyone has like any visual doubt, or is there anything you want me to talk about, then I'll talk. You can just unmute your mic and ask me, okay, Swani, I want this visual insights, or what is this visual about? So let's start with the recap. Okay, scatter chart. Want me to talk about scatter chart? We'll talk about scatter chart. Okay, if we talk about scatter chart now, Rajiv, it helps us to show relationship between two variables. Okay, for example, just as I said, a company is spending some money or some kind of services. For example, a company is doing PR services or a company is doing marketing. So how that spend is increasing or decreasing the sales. Okay, if the company is using its profit and it's like hard-earned money on something, then the company also wants now. Okay, what's the impact of this marketing is on the sales? Is the sales increasing? Is the sales decreasing? How much of the sales is increasing? In which sector the sales is increasing? If we talk something about that, then this comes in mind. This comes in picture, which is the scatter chart. Like when the question is okay, how the marketing spend increases, the sales is also increasing. The marketing spend decreases, the sales is also decreasing. Or not just about any spend. If any season is coming in the market, okay, for example, the winters are there. Okay, so the supply of the winter clothes will be more in the market rather than shorts and like tops and all, which are like cut sleeves and all. The market will have more of the products which are related to winters, like winter caps, winter jeans, and the overalls and the jumpsuits and all will be more. If the season changes, then the products will also change. So that's where scatter chart helps us to analyze and understand. Okay, not just for season, it can also be for like if there is a trend in the market. Like there was a trend for mom jeans, there was a trend for baggy jeans, now there is a trend for straight fit jeans. So that's there in the market. Okay, and the company spends some money on it with the help of some influencers. They do some PR, they do something in the marketing spend, or like they spend it on posters or for advertisements or for on TV. So how much that spend is helping them to increase the sales. That's where scatter chart will come in the picture. Are you clear, or you want me to say the same in Hindi also? Can you confirm it, Rajiv? Are you there? Yeah.